This video is going to take you through the Peel paragraph structure and each of the elements within that Peel paragraph. Towards the end of this video, we will also look at how to structure your Peel paragraphs in order to make up a holistic essay. So looking at the elements of the Peel paragraph, the P stands for point, the E stands for evidence, the other E stands for elaborate, and finally the L is for link. So looking at each of these elements in a little bit more detail, the P relates to your topic sentence or your point that you wish to make for your paragraph that you're constructing. So this will relate to directly the argument in which you are creating for that particular paragraph. And it should link to your overall thesis. However, your topic sentence and thesis are slightly different. Your thesis is your overall argument for your entire essay, kind of like the umbrella of your essay, which holds it all and compacts it all in together, whereas your topic sentence gives your paragraph direction and it has a focus for that particular paragraph, which may be different for each of your subsequent paragraphs. So for example, if you're structuring an essay around the female experience, you might have a thesis around the holistic female experience, but your topic sentence for one of your paragraphs might be about the concept of motherhood. So you're focusing down a little bit narrower on a particular aspect of that female experience. Likewise, if you're looking at the complexity of the human experience as an overall thesis statement, your topic sentence might relate to a particular piece of evidence from the text. So it might relate to a paradox or an anomaly that's evident within your text, and you're structuring your topic sentence around that particular aspect of the human experience. Looking at the evidence, so the evidence that you provide within your paragraph will be you'll need a quotation and also a technique that goes along with that. Now, what's really important about the quotation and the technique that you select is that it needs to assist in proving your point for your topic sentence and as well as your thesis. So you really need to be selective with the evidence and the technique that you've provided and ensure that it does directly relate to your topic sentence and overall thesis. So you're continuing to address the question and you're continuing to articulate your argument throughout. So it's not useful, for example, to talk about a metaphor that maybe doesn't relate to that female experience or that human experience or the complexity of that experience. It's really important that you are really focused on the thesis that you're proving and the topic sentence that you've provided, the point that you're making, so that your quotation and your technique directly relate to those. The next E in the Peel paragraph is elaboration. So this is where you deconstruct the quotation and demonstrate how the words and the phrases within your quote work together with your technique to prove your point within that particular paragraph. Now, this will probably be the most detailed aspect of the Peel paragraph within your paragraph itself. This one will take more time in order for you to really articulate how it is that technique is working within that quote in order to prove your thesis or your topic sentence. So it's really important that you spell that out for your marker. Moving on, we've finally got the last stage of our Peel paragraph, which is the link. Now, your link will need to demonstrate that you've linked back to your overall thesis. So within your elaboration, you would have talked about how the quote and the technique have worked together to help assist improving your thesis, and this is where you directly link back to your thesis directly. So your overall argument within your essay. Sometimes, but not all in all cases, you might then link on to your next paragraph and maybe give a little insight into where you will take your essay next. Now, thinking about the Peel paragraph, I've sort of stepped through the process of doing one by one in terms of each of those elements of the Peel process. However, it is possible for you to double up on your E's, so to speak. So it is possible that once you've identified your point and you've included your evidence and elaborated on that, it is possible, if you're really wanting to push yourself, to provide another example, so another piece of evidence, and then another elaboration on that before you link back to your thesis. So you're really trying to gain some further depth within your argument and layering your evidence and your elaboration in order to gain a little bit more sophistication. So that is possible if you would like to add some further depth in terms of your discussion of the text. So often when we structure our paragraphs for our overall essay, we usually have more than one text that we're talking about. We usually would have a main text that we've studied in class and possibly another related text which we need to include as well. What I would suggest as a great way to really demonstrate your sophistication in understanding your thesis is to offer an integrated approach. And what that means is that you're integrating or combining your text discussion. Now, that doesn't mean that you're talking about two different texts in one paragraph. I would still keep them as very separate, distinctive paragraphs, so one text within one paragraph, so that you're not confusing the marker about what piece of evidence comes from what text. So the structure that you've got on your screen there might be one that's useful. So after you've written your introduction, and then you would start off with a Peel paragraph from one of your texts, possibly your prescribed text. The next Peel paragraph that you would provide would be your second text or your related text. To show that sophistication and that you really understand your thesis and the module that you've been studying in class, I would then suggest going back to your first text and having another Peel paragraph on that before then going and moving on to your second Peel paragraph. I hope this video has helped you revise the Peel paragraph structure and really cement what each of those steps are and how in which you could elaborate on each of those steps for your particular essay.